Wouldn't you think people would know better? I said, wouldn't you think people would know better? I've seen people right in churches take up offering, squeeze people to the max, almost spiritually threaten them. God's got 20 people here tonight, and you need to give $100. And if you don't give $100, there could be bad things happen to you. Now God is doing this. God is not in that, never has been, never will be in that. But people have sat there and just hook, line, and sinker. Whew, I better give that money. Better give that money to him. You know what? You need a good talking to. That's your problem. You're loose. Nobody has a line on you. Nobody has control of you. Nobody can talk to you. Nobody can say, hey, call you out on the carpet and say, hey, you listen to this right here. That's your problem. You have no one can call you out on the carpet. Oh, I just do whatever I want to do when I want to do it and how I want to do it. Nobody's going to tell me. Well, that's your problem. Amen? And the first time that preacher pulled a stunt like that, he ought to have been called out on the carpet and say, don't you ever take up another offering like that as long as you live. And it should have been elders told him that. Said, no, you're on the wrong road and you don't do it. No. Well, we don't want to do that, do we? Might get brother so-and-so mad at us. Yeah. Well, you might have somebody else not so pleased. All right. It says, but though, which is not another, verse 7, which is not another, but there'll be some that trouble you. Now what he's talking about, and I'm mentioning all this other stuff, it's not really anything to do with this. What Paul's talking about is grace, the grace that comes from Jesus Christ. The grace that comes by Jesus Christ. The grace that came because God, having raised Him from the dead. Are you hearing? He says, though we are an angel from heaven, and this is plain, this is strong language. Though we are an angel from heaven, preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. One translation says, let him be doomed to hell. That's strong, ain't it? But it says, let him be accursed. And I said before, as we said before, so say I now. Again, if any man preach any other gospel unto you than that ye have received, let him be accursed. Amen. In verse 10 it says, do I now persuade men or God? And listen to this translation of verse 10. It says, am I trying to win over him or win over human beings or God? By preaching like this. Am I trying to win over human beings or God? He said, or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I wouldn't be the servant of Christ. Amen. Now listen at verse 11, and we're getting ready to quit. Brethren, I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. Now listen to this translation.